This episode of the Retail Horror Road Trip is sponsored by Fine Lines and Egg. So without further ado, here is the Retail Horror Road Trip.
I'm Michelle Sherrier and welcome to the Retail Horror Road Trip. Today we are in Oakland, California. We've come back to interview Nathan & Co. because everyone loves his interview so much. I personally fell in love with him, so I wanted to see his store, so here we are.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are
It's
you?
good to see you.
Everybody, Nathan.
Hi guys.
So since we're standing outside, I want to see your windows first. And because it's kind of overcast, it's like an easy way to see it without too much reflection.
Which is a good thing because this window gets really hit with the light.
It's so beautiful. You just did this window.
We just did.
So
yes.
tell me a little bit about the artist.
So the art is the throw, the melamine, and the linen wall hangings are done by Claudia Pearson out of Brooklyn, New York. And she's been a longtime buddy of ours. We carry her. We've carried her books. She writes children's books. She does art. And so we always are excited to see her new line. And so this window is really basically all Claudia. And then we sort of masked out anything that was blue and anything that was sort of a mustard color and made that as our accessories in the window.
I love the glassware on the ledge of the window. And I love the little pop of yellow down here.
Yeah, and what I like to do is to mix, like, I think the window's kind of serious, but then we've got, our caution tape, our packing tape. We've got an Andy Warhol, scrunchy thing. And so there's like a little bit of whimsy mixed in, which is kind of what the whole theme of the store is. It's like, it's a great gift, but then there's some kind of silly things.
I'm so excited to go into the store because I fell in love with you when we had our interview. It's like one retail to another. It's like your passion for retail has been like, I'm so excited to come out and do this interview with you and meet you in person.
To have you here.
And one thing I want to point out before, I think that is brilliant. The sign for the email address, the website, oh, it's not the email address, the website, and your Instagram.
Yes.
I think that's so important because I think people walking by, because this is a walkable street, there's restaurants that are open the night. I think it's like, if you want to come in, you want to find it, and you want to remind yourself, take a screenshot of that.
And it actually does work. Like people will you can see when they're you get a new follower, and especially with Shop Salutations because that's our card brand.
Oh.
And so 2 years ago we decided to open an online card shop.
Okay, I had no idea about that. You didn't even talk about it.
Right. So because cards are such a big deal for us.
Yeah.
And so we sell a ton on our website, but I was like, what if we just isolated cards and made it its own
brilliant.
thing?
Why didn't you say this in the interview?
Because I had so many other things to say, and we're doing it now.
Let me ask you one question while we're out here. During COVID, how did you treat your windows?
We continued to make beautiful windows. Everything had a price that was visible.
Okay.
And people could text us.
Okay, so that's that. I knew you did something special with your windows.
Right, and we called it window shopping, which actually really, truly did work. Because we would put a ton of product in, the price was really visible. They could text the store. We always had someone here from like 11 to 4, and they could just knock on the door, and then they could call us, and we would just do door service.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's brilliant.
We actually never really completely shut down.
I'd say if you had somebody in here, that was really smart.
Of like curbside pickup.
Were you still getting deliveries?
No, we cut everything off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go inside.
Come on in. So one of the things that when we opened our very first store, one of my favorite reps, she said, you have to have cards right when you walk in.
Yeah.
Because it reminds people, oh, there's a birthday, there's an anniversary, there's a thank you.
It's also such a great use of real estate because I think a lot of people, one, for a loss prevention side of it is if, a lot of people, it is real estate. So you need product here. So I think that a lot of people are like, no, it's too close to the door. And it's like, it's a low cost item. If somebody does decide to take off, but you're utilizing your real estate, which is super smart.
And it really puts people in the mood. So this is probably our most shopped card section. We have a bigger card section inside the store. But here we don't really do a theme unless it's a holiday. It's basically
fun.
like our favorites.
Yeah, I love it.
It's mixed between love you, thank you, birthdays.
So cute. Okay, tell me about, I want to go through the store as a customer. Tell me how your philosophy on merchandising.
So we vaguely have departments, but it's really very
vague.
Yeah. It's like we like to mix things together. So like this is our guy section, and it's one of our most popular areas, especially during key gift giving times for men, which is Father's Day and holiday. And so we just have fun assortments of socks, and we're bringing in some new lines of skincare and grooming stuff. And so it's just like a little mishmash, so it's easy to put together a gift box.
I would say it's
for
easy
the guy
gifts.
in life.
Men's departments are always like with me in the pharmacy. That's like one of my favorite things to buy for because it doesn't have to have like. I feel like with the women's department, like I'm always curating like little collections, but men's, it's like it could be all these random things, and it always works together.
Right, and things that are kind of hard to find, like beard oils, or like hair wax. Things like that are a little bit different and a little bit more apothecary have done really well for us.
What? I haven't seen this line before. What line is this?
This is
Broken Top?
Broken Top, and it's really beautiful. The fragrances are really, really beautiful. I love the graphic
I want that
of the
for
label.
Me. Yum. So you do well with personal care?
Yes. We're actually bringing in Caswell Macy for holiday.
Oh.
Because it's that very sort of British preppy kind of look. And so I thought that would kind of shake it up.
Very old school.
Exactly. And it has that great name recognition to it.
And this is a great flow into like, kind of dark and, masculine into another area which is a little bit dark.
So a couple weeks ago, this was like really bright. We were transitioning into fall. So we just basically, there are some new things here, but we brought all of our black things together.
I love it because you're able to take items that usually wouldn't go together. For me, it was bath care and kitchen.
Exactly.
And somehow it all worked just because of the color. So that's what I'm super excited to show everybody because as a merchandiser, it's one of those things where it's so beautifully done and it catches your eye and it literally leads you through the store.
There's some negative parts to it.
What?
Like if someone is looking for a purple day planner, or a day planner. We have them in all of the color ranges. So their day planners are not together. They're in the pink section or they're in the green section.
What it does, and this is a Fred Siegel thing, it forces you through to go through the rest of the store. So you're actually, while it may seemingly feel like a pain in the ass to go through it, you are literally forcing her to go through the store and look at everything. And that's actually really brilliant.
And then she wasn't in the market for a candle, but she sees that candle that matches and it's like, oh my God, this smells so good. And it's that extra purchase.
I love it. Okay, the bar section, I die. Like the coloring out. So this is one of those where it's like multicolors, but the play off of this into the blue and green is so good.
Yeah, I think that coloring and color blocking in a store is key, especially for stores like ours where we have a bazillion SKUs, and they don't all arrive obviously at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a really quick way of you get a shipment in and you're like, oh, we can put that in the coral area.
Which brings me to a question. How has the supply chain issue...
So much better.
I have to point this picture out for our digital marketing manager, Elisa. I'm bringing this book home for you. Elisa has chickens now, so...
I have chihuahuas. She has chickens. Right. What we did last year is we canceled all of our orders. And then I got inventory lists from key brands.
Oh, that is so smart.
Orders based on what they had.
I never was that smart. That's really smart.
So that was our saving grace. So there weren't really any crazy surprises because I knew I was going to get it.
That's brilliant.
It was a lot of work though.
I have to talk about this line because I've seen this line forever and a day. And I love this line so much. And you obviously stock it deep, so this does very well, I'm assuming.
It does. Even the $198 pillows up at the top We custom order them all the time.
So you sell all the states, even though you're in California. Is it a tourist?
And over here we have
the dish towels.
Yes.
Is it?
No, what it ends up being is, I don't know what to get them, but the husband's from Alabama and the wife is from Texas, and they live in California, but they conceived their first child in Maine. So people think of it that way, and they will bring all of those together and give it a set.
I love this. I've always wanted to sell that line, and I could never do it because it's just too high end for me. I think we sold it at Fritz Siegel for a little bit.
You have to actually have a staff person monitor it. So we have someone that is constantly rewriting, because it really irritates people when you don't have Kentucky, even though I maybe only sell 6 Kentucky a year.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that you have it. You have to be in stock at all times.
Yeah, that's part of the challenge I have with things like astrology, where you have to have that sign in. And it's a constant reorder battle.
It's an easy fix, though, if you put one, and it's a great project for someone that you might see as being with you for a long time, and they need to have more responsibility than just running the register and gift wrapping. Then they own it.
I love that.
So they can dust it. They can inventory it.
You've really done a good job with that. I mean, you've really empowered. I mean, you said that on the interview, that you really empower your employees. And I think that the ownership part of that key, that I think a lot of owners really want to hold on to, what they consider the fun stuff. And it's like you said, I don't want to buy cards. It's I don't want to buy jewelry. And it's your buyer for that loves that. That's her department. She owns it.
She absolutely adores it, and she micromanages it, and it's perfect for me.
But
if you're going to do it, you have to let them completely own it.
Yeah. Don't try and step in.
Don't try to step in, because sometimes there'll be a card where I'm like, do we really need this? But I keep it to myself, because I'm like, that's Julie's business. It's do not interrupt her business.
That is, so when do you
I don't.
So if the sales start dropping, you don't hey.
She monitors herself too. So she's giving us every 6 weeks, she's giving us reports. And, her numbers, I mean, they are up and down just like my numbers.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the business is healthy, so you leave it alone.
I'm so all about these colors right now. I just they're so yummy. And there's something about that neutral palette. And especially because when we go through the rest of the store, you'll see how bright it is. But this whole opening statement, how often does this change?
This really needs to change every, I think, 3 weeks.
Thank you.
In real life, it probably changes more closely to every 4 weeks. But it's always, a work. It's more statement pieces, we only own one of this. Mm-hmm. So it automatically kind of changes on its own when it sells. Then we have to re-merchandise it.
Do you keep the same color and change the merchandise, or do you completely overhaul things? Your opening statement, as you walk in, it's the first thing you see. It's supposed to be the most impactful, and it's wow, what a great job.
It really should inspire the customer to. They may not want to do something huge like that, but they're oh, I could mix those colors, and I could wire them together and go a little bit taller.
Do you sell them as well?
Yeah, they're easily shoppable here. They're all right here, all individual and ready to go at, I think they're $10.
So it's not only a prop, it's also purchasable merchandise.
And it's texture, and it's something really, really soft and organic looking. I mean, I'm really into being able to, here.
I love it's all binned out.
All lined up like little soldiers. We can put them in a basket.
I love this.
That sort of farmer's market sort of thing, which we do a lot of.
And I always talk about if you can shop the display all the way around, it needs to be shopped all the way around and displayed all the way around.
And this particular display, there is no table. So we are using these really low risers.
Which I love. This table is great.
And this one is great because it has wheels on it, so you just can wheel it around, and that one does too. So, I mean, sometimes they're stacked really high. Sometimes we will do a round table here. But I really like sort of the organicness of these different levels, and you just keep building that height with furniture and props.
I'm all about the height. Mannequins on tables, I'm that is hands down, I think the best way to build.
Exactly, and it makes the store seem richer, I think, and more robust and more exciting.
So the green, and again, it's very, because it's colored out and it's kind of a general store feeling, you have matches and candles and the add-on sales, candle snuffers with candles, matches with you not only do you have it colored out, but you have it beautifully cross-merchandised to create add-on sales.
I call it layering.
Good job.
I love stores that are really layered, really deep with weird little things that you didn't know that you needed.
I mean, what's the average time that people spend in here nosing through here? Because I feel like you could spend literally an hour in here.
Oh, I think people spend. I've never calculated it, but that would be an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah.
I do get comments from married couples where they're like, "This is the only store that my husband will come into because there's always things that entertain him if he's not a shopper."
It's so. And you also have made really good use of tiny little moments, like you have. And you've broken up the wall, bookcases, floating shelves, little moment, bookcases, floating shelves. So your flow also is so intentional.
Intentional, and it develops over time.
Oh.
When we knew that you were coming in to visit us, I was like, gosh, I wish we could just tear everything apart and repaint.
No, oh my God.
Because this store has been open for 12 years.
Wow.
And so it's had, touch-ups. But I really believe, after 10 years, you really do need to kind of,
You do, but damn, I can't imagine. That's how many how many days of that being closed?
Our other store, which is a mile away, it is 16 years old. And 6 years ago, we closed it down for a month, skim-coated all the walls.
A month.
Redid the ceiling, redid some lighting, remodeled the bathroom, and then rebuilt the store completely.
So the customers, the wow factor.
The wow factor was huge.
And you guys also got the.
Oh, it was exciting to go to work.
I love the whole, but a month, that scares the hell out of me.
There's nothing more beautiful than a brand new store, right?
Yeah, it's like a store opening. That's why I love store openings. Store openings are what I live for. There's something about a totally blank canvas and re-looking at everything with, you knew how you did it before, but now it's all torn down, so you can't even go back to if you wanted to do it the other way.
Some of the advice that you've repeated on your podcast, which I love, and I always make sure that our employees listen to, is to take a display all the way down to nothing.
Yeah.
Windex it, polish it, clean it, and then rebuild it.
Yeah, the cleaning part.
That's where you get the new store, it's a new store again. Because everything's sparkly.
Yeah. For me with floor, because you had said in the interview, the other store is so narrow that you can't do the floating moments. And, one thing that I've learned through the anthropology way is setting your floor, and you are intentionally kind of guiding them through where you want them to go. So you do have a clear path here, but over here, you've created these moments where people kind of linger and shop, and then it leads you into another. I mean, that's why I was like, how much time do people spend? Because I'm guessing most people, well, I don't know. What is the floor pattern? Do people go straight along the wall and then come back around?
Because we're in neighborhood stores, our customer is really familiar with the store. So they kind of know where to go. I think newbies probably meander and they probably circle around. And it's like a little maze, right? Which is what the intention is.
Yeah.
But, if someone's in a rush and they're trying to get on the subway, because we're right next to a subway station, people will come in and they're like, this is what I want, boom, and they're out of here.
This neighborhood is amazing.
It's a cute neighborhood, right?
The houses, and it's all walkable, and, walking to dinner, and it's just, I love this whole neighborhood. It just has such a great feeling, and I never knew Oakland was like that, because I don't know if everyone thinks of this as Oakland, and it's it is so
and this is indeed
freaking cute.
Very Oakland. It's North Oakland, but both of our streets are really very sort of European, where it's people sit outside, they have a glass of wine, they go shopping. I mean, everyone brings
Saturdays
their dogs
and
in.
holidays must be amazing here. What does holiday look like for you here?
A line.
But visually.
Oh, visually. So visually, it's interesting. We don't do a lot of decor. We sell a ton of ornaments. So we have trees set up throughout the store in themes.
So you shop off the tree, or do you have fixtures?
You shop off the tree.
Okay, I love that.
And you shop off of baskets underneath the tree.
Love that.
But the trees are not really decorated; they're merchandise. So it's like like we'll do baguettes, red wine bottles, cheese, and do like a little food Frenchy sort of theme or whatever it is.
And those you cross merchandise back into near your sections.
Absolutely. The only thing that's really decorated for Christmas is the window, which is like our biggest window of the year, and we start planning like immediately after Christmas.
So what are your themes? Well, okay, now I'm dying because it's like Christmas is my favorite time.
This year has been really, really hard for us to decide what our theme is going to be, but we finally landed on Christmas in Tahoe. So it's going to sort of have this mountainy, lodgy sort of look. Our gift wrap, which is another thing that we spend so much time deciding what seasonal wrap will look like. So the store wrap is going to be big buffalo check, black and white, and then a companion paper, like if we're stacking and we can alternate, of this sort of off-white with these organic branches and pine cones, and then it's all tied up with a very preppy Kelly green ribbon.
Okay, I have to unpack that for a second. You gift wrap to that level for every gift.
Every gift.
How fucking long does that take? Do people, is it like come back tomorrow, it'll be ready? Or do you have one person full time doing this?
When we interview, where the first question out of my mouth is, do you like to gift wrap? And then I kind of gauge them, and if they're like, oh, yeah, I do, then I'm like, okay, you're going to make it to the next level. And then we put them through, I call it Nathan's
wrapping boot camp?
Wrapping boot camp. And I have amazing wrappers. Like, I'm good, but my staff is so much better. We literally wrap anything that anyone wants. We don't care how much it costs.
That is, okay,
And it's a profit center. That's the beautiful part of it. Because we keep them in the store longer. Because they're waiting. So I think mentally, once you've gotten that gift, and it's being wrapped by a professional,
you're still walking around shopping.
Your mind is clear now, and then you buy something for yourself, or for your kid, or whatever.
So for all the people that are talking or thinking about or don't want to do gift wrap of any sort, that is a brilliant point.
And we bring our gift wrappers back every year.
Where in the space do you have someone wrapping?
Well, COVID was kind of hard for us. But we have probably at Christmas time at least 4 people behind the register.
Wow.
And we're wrapping on that counter. We're wrapping in our little gift wrap nook. And then the back room we turn into gift wrap central. So there can be 2 people back there
So
wrapping.
How many people are in a store at a time? Like, now I'm like totally just going off on tangent. I apologize. But how many people are in here at any given time on a Saturday where you have 4 people wrapping?
Oh, probably 40.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crowded.
Do you have people,
now,
a lot of people
COVID,
on the floor?
This store had 6 people. We allowed 6 people in for that Christmas in COVID.
Wow.
And we had someone stationed at the door, little stanchions out. There was a line all of December with people so sweet, waiting in the cold, in the rain. They would wait to shop.
Oh my God.
Last Christmas, I think we lifted that and we let people come in, and everyone was just really responsible. But during a normal year, it's jam-packed.
Oh my God. Okay, back to the merchandise.
I want to go back to the gift wrapping really quick. So I have these kids that would start with us, like some of them in junior high school, and they would come in on the weekends and gift wrap for us during holiday. And then over the years, they get into high school, and then maybe they have like a weekend shift. But during Christmas break, they will come in their whole Christmas break and wrap for us.
They've really stayed with you for longevity.
They stayed for years and years and years, all the way through college.
Wow.
They'll go. I have kids in Europe for college. They come back to Oakland to see their families.
That speaks
for Christmas,
volumes about you.
And they will come and gift wrap for us. And they've already been trained. They're better gift wrappers than me. I don't have to worry about it. Like, I know those gifts are going to be gorgeous when they're handed to the customer.
That speaks volumes about you. I mean, as a boss, it really does. Because I think in a world that right now that you can't get people to show up, let alone, and the fact that you have the same team coming back, that speaks
really
volumes
wonderful.
about you.
That
really
really
does.
is amazing.
Because I, to be honest, I don't know anybody that has that experience with employees where they come back season after season.
We have.
See, I knew I loved you.
We have former staff that would work for us through high school, worked on college breaks, graduated wanting to figure out what they wanted to do in their growing up life, and they come back work full time for like 2-3 years before they figure out what they want to do.
Wow. That's
so
amazing.
It's like I'm very lucky.
That's
very,
amazing.
Very lucky.
Again, the coloring out, I die. Like blue into green.
I love this little green table. I think it's so sweet.
And not a plastic riser in sight. Okay, you have to tell the story you told me last night what you wanted to do.
What I love that Michelle complains about plastic risers, and I actually agree with her. But I was telling our merchandiser, I was like, if I could find on eBay or something like a truckload of risers in different sizes, we would do an installation in the window or on the front, the entry table, and just do something really cool out of plastic risers and make you go, oh, I changed my mind.
I have so many people that give me grief about, but I've made people start thinking about and again, like right here, cake plates as risers, crates as risers. I mean, plastic risers.
Yeah.
Like this is, and you have height and level and it's all without one plastic riser.
And haircut.
Guys, when I am looking for new lines, I am not only looking for a showroom that's going to inspire me visually, but inspire me with well-curated lines. So when I say that I am so damn grateful that Fine Lines is one of our sponsors for the Retail Whore podcast, and now they are a sponsor of the Retail Whore Road Trip. I've been shopping Fine Lines for years, and I can tell you right now that I always walk away with an amazing line, and I always walk away so inspired by their visuals and their merchandising. If you don't know Fine Lines is a West Coast wholesale rep agency with showrooms in Las Vegas and Seattle, representing over 50 fabulous gift, fashion, and home lines. For more information, you can find them on their website at finelinescompany.com. And if you have not shopped their egg space, it is a new division of Fine Lines with its own online showroom that you can shop anytime and anywhere.
Why? So this is more or less, because you do, departmentally, you do have like a tabletop.
Entertaining, and so it can be everything from serving pieces.
Oh my God.
That's been one of our surprise best-selling dish towels. It's like
that's a dish towel. That's amazing. So I've never seen a lot of your lines. I've never seen.
Oh, that's a huge compliment. Thank you.
We
love to shop, and we will go in the nooks and crannies, and I literally watch and will walk every single inch.
Thank you, because that's one thing. My old boss, my mentor, Michael Campbell, that owned Fred Siegel Finery. He had told me a long time ago, go in every single, because I think a lot of buyers, and I've said this before on the podcast, like they walk by showrooms like, oh, there's nothing for us. And then they walk by and it's like, that is often where I say you find the pet rock. And it's like, yeah, it's going to take you more time. But it's like in an environment like here where you have store after store after store, there's zip code protection. You obviously don't want to carry the same things, but that is where you find the nuggets, and that's where you find the stuff that none of your neighbors are going to have it because they thought that showroom was not them. I know. And I've
traveled actually with buyers where they will be so dismissive of. Sometimes like a whole aisle in New York. Like, I don't think there's anything on the aisle. I'm like, unless we've walked it and gone in every booth.
It's like we all obviously are shopping from the same pool, but I love that you've mixed in these little pieces that I've never seen. And for me, who's been in the industry forever and does wholesale showrooms, I'm like, oh my gosh.
From you too. Thank you.
And I want to ask you, because we had talked about this on the podcast, is that, there's going to be things that don't have a SKU, and your empowerment of your employees and your philosophy was the first time I've heard that, and I thought it was brilliant. So do tell, like, when somebody can't find a price.
Right. Well, so during the interview process, we kind of are looking for people that we feel like can run a store on their shift, because our philosophy is when you're working, it is your store. We're not going to be there, so we're not going to question you. You just need to make sure that customer is happy. So prices fall off, right? Or it can be the last of something, and maybe it was in the window and we took the price off and it ends up in the floor by accident without a price. So all I ask is just try, look in the computer. But if it takes more than 30 seconds. Don't keep the customer waiting. Just make up a price.
Like, honestly, like,
And we truly, it happens all the time. We've never asked an employee, like, why was that $80 pillow sold at 40?
I mean, like, I can't drive home enough about your empowerment to the employees and giving them that room where they're, because I think a lot of employees with some owners or managers are literally petrified to make that decision because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble.
Exactly.
And you've made that where it's not.
I mean, people are shopping with us to have fun, and it's like, it's an experiment. Sounded like someone was in haircut. People are shopping with us to like have fun, find something unique. They don't want a Home Depot experience where like, oh the skew of the hammer is missing and we're going to keep the 80 people in line behind you standing there while someone runs around trying to find out the skew. It's like, just put a price on it. It's like, Home Depot, if you're listening, you can afford it.
Yeah. So I love, you did the trees.
This was a Michelle idea that I saw at the Stephen Young showroom.
I love
and
that.
I love that. So we put our little cardinals and blue jays in it.
Oh my gosh. And Jellycat is hugely
We
prominent.
love some Jellycat.
And you know, one thing we talked about this, and I thought it was brilliant, and I actually want to try and do it in my stores, is you mix the Jellycat food back with cookbooks, which
We do.
I love. I mean, look, it's so
Cheese
cute.
with cheese boards.
I think that's, and it's close enough to kids, so it's not like so far out there. But I do, like, I thought about doing that yesterday at my account. I was like, you know, they have all the fruits, and Bristol Farms has done a really good job. Like, they've never had like, usually when you walk in Bristol Farms, they lead with vegetables, and it's the produce guys, or it's got to be. The gift buyer bought all of the fruits and vegetables.
Which are so cute.
And they did a full-on grocery store, crates, like all, and they buy deep. So it was like 30 apples and 60 corn. I mean, it was so full and abundant, and it was in a grocery store. And I was like, this is a perfect example of like how you can incorporate something like Jellycat.
A ton of it too.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Jellycat's one of those lines where it's a great children's gift, but I find like a lot of adults they want a little bit of it too. And so I don't think it's always for kids.
What is your favorite book? Because children's books, I love.
I love children's books too, and I have to be really honest, they're a hard sell for us.
Are they?
They are. Like, picture books are really difficult for us to move through the inventory as quickly as I think we should be.
Wow, that's interesting. Why do you think?
I don't know. We have great bookstores on our streets, so that could be part of it. But so what we try to do is to take children's books and have some kind of, it's not just a cute, like, I won't have just a cute story. It has to have something to do with diversity, or
I love the Pride
empowerment
book.
Of, you know, a group. It has to have something to do with something. It just can't be cute and a sweet little story. So that's our philosophy with kids' books. And then, you know, little hard travel books, like the little baby otter and the octopus over there. I mean, those just sell all day long. So
it's so sweet. Do you do kids apparel too?
Just a little bit, like
I
just
see
for the brand new babies. Yeah,
so
they're
cute.
displayed up
What
there.
line is this? This is so cute.
That's actually from Creative Co-op.
Wow, really cute.
Yeah, they did some really cute. Ready to wear for babies, I like to say.
Ready to wear for babies. And again, like, you cross merchandise, and because it's a smaller store, your flow, I mean, it's like where normally it would be like kids and tabletop would be like like I have a hard time merchandising with the pharmacy like that, like I have them. But this, it flows perfectly, like, because you've got the cross merchandising of the
so
plush
like this table is sort of, you know, fall, outdoorsy. It mixes from campfire games to cheese boards. And so it makes sense to have the mushrooms, right? Because that's part of like being outdoor and foresty. And then up above we have our little
Which
owls.
I think these are the sweet. Okay, so I am a huge fan of low hanging displays when it's above a low table and small items, because I believe that when you have something like that and you drop it down, it brings your attention to exactly what is below it.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
I think, I love that and I think that's the cutest thing, the little flag. Wonderful. Okay, I think I need this candle. Is this like it's not a citronella candle, right? It's like
No.
an actual, like, I have this weird obsession about the smell of fire. Like we went to Costa Rica. I was like, God, I love that smell. And Dave's like, it's burning trash.
But it smells so good here.
So I still like, this is like, I'm buying this candle.
I'm with you though. I love the smell of like a chimney.
I'm a Christmas baby, so like the smell of fire, and I'm not gonna lie, I start playing Christmas carols next month. Cards, again, you've got them right across in the cash register. I love, I think that a lot of people, cards, I don't think really people realize how much volume stores do. And one of my accounts, we were going, let's pull up the reports of what sells the most, so we can figure out, what's my first began with there. It's like, so we can figure out what we're focusing on and what is not selling if we're going to try and drive some business into it. She ran the porch, she's like, I had no idea how many cards I was selling.
I mean, always surprising me too.
Insane amount.
Yes.
So
people don't buy just one card. People always buy multiples.
How often do you change
handfuls.
them?
Oh, she changes them constantly. Like she's getting new cards all the time. Little orders.
I love it. So it's constant little interjections.
And trying new designers and new writers and new artists. And so, she does a great job keeping it really, really fresh.
And again, the coloring out, I can't even, like, it's so good. It really does make you want to buy. I mean, and again, you've got such like the croissant socks back, and it's all the packaging, all the coloring, like oh my God, Nathan, it's so good.
It's a good way of getting a lot of SKUs in your store, I'll tell you.
It really, for people that get frozen with, because I do people's buying, but a lot of times I come in and I'm obviously merchant, and you always know the buyers that go to the shows and they buy everything they love, and then it gets back to the store and it's like, whoa, it's a total garage sale.
Right.
The coloring out is where I had a pharmacy years ago that happened, and then I was dealing with inventory that was like, they never put on sale, and it's like, so it's like, but the coloring out thing worked.
Right.
And
How do you feel about sales and clearance?
For me, for the pharmacy, because we have the same customer in and out, and I will change it around at least 4 or 5 times just to see, is it where it is, or it's just a dog. And when it's just a dog, it's a dog. And I for us, it's like, we'll try and sell it, and it's like either like for seasonal. I used to say, just pack it up. We know some companies are going to repeat the same thing. Mud Pie does the same, dishes that say the cute sayings. They have the little spoons. Yeah. That's never going to change. So you can pack it up. But at a certain point, when you pull it out, like for us, we pulled out 2 and 3 times the same thing. It's like, it's a dog. It's not going to sell this year, next year. Like, just dump it on sale. Right. So what is your philosophy?
I have this aversion to the SALE in the window. Like, I think it trains our customer, and partly it's because we are neighborhood stores. So I want to train them to buy it when they see it. That's our philosophy. Yeah. Like, we don't like to reorder things because we want to always try what's new.
The scarcity.
So unless it's like just absolutely incredible, we'll move on to the next one. And so our philosophy is never actually put it on clearance. We will reprice. If we think it's a price issue, we'll just retag it. We call it a black tag, so the customer really doesn't know that it's on markdown.
It's very seamless. I like that. Yeah, I don't like the screaming sale sign. I mean, I came out of the philosophy of, or the world of the philosophy of Fred Siegel was, you had one sale once a year and that was it. And back in the day,
which was really smart.
Super smart. But as time went on, like, September the sale comes, and you had stuff that delivered in October or November that didn't sell. You're packing it up and holding it till, that's a long time. And it's like when you're talking about open to buy and getting your numbers, your money back, But it did, I mean, it was like because it was a thing. It was people lined up for hours, and it was the doors open, and people were rushing to their favorite store, and it started at 50% off. There was no 20.
Exactly. I think 20 is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not going to create, if you're going to do it, I say do it the Fred Siegel way and do it once a year, start at 50, make it a really big bargain.
Yeah.
And go in it. And that's,
get in and get out.
Class too, because it's like, you're really giving them a bargain.
Yeah. Convey that it's like, if you love this, don't walk away because it's not coming back. Like this is all we're gonna get. We're not reordering it. This was, we love it. We're in and out. Oh my God, I got it now because it's not gonna be there.
I think it's really very smart, and it's a great way for us smaller merchants to learn how to keep the inventory fresh by not letting it get stagnant and try something new.
Yeah. I think that's the key, because I think a lot of people, I have what I call bread and butter. So Voluspa is a bread and butter. Jellycat's a bread and butter. Like, we know you're going to order that. But everything else, it's nice to get in and get out of something and keep it fresh, because you have a neighborhood customer who comes in and sees the same thing. My next question is, how often do you re-merchandise and you flip the colored sections, like, for the rest of the store?
So the stores get like majorly redone seasonally, so probably like 4 times a year, where it's like intense, like move sections, change out, but it's constantly evolving and changing because we're shopping all the time.
Yeah.
And we're getting new shipments in. So my big thing is, like, when it comes in, I like it to stay together as a group.
Yeah.
Like a theme. So like, we have 1 million candles, but we love these Los Polanas candles. And so, we masked it out, where we don't do this with any other line. And the only reason why we're doing it with this is because it's newer, and we build a display around it.
I told you I'd gone to the farm. Los Poblanos is like so beautiful. And you know what I have to say, like, right now, really quick, is that you've done a great job with space in here. It's a relatively narrow area, and you still have shopping opportunities and moments in between where you stop their eye.
Well, and like on weekends when it is busy, or during the holiday, these are great because it gives someone something to look at, because the line will start.
Yeah.
Pajamas are like really kind of a thing for us. Pajamas and robes. And we have a new collection coming in from Fine Lines. Powder. Did you see
love
Powder?
that line.
Me too.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's like, I'm so excited to get it into the stores because it's not just pajamas that are stunning, but it's like they have gloves and hair clips, and that was one of my favorite things I found at this
I wish I could
market.
sell it. It's just that price point.
Beautiful.
My price point at the pharmacy, the magic number is literally $40 or $50. Like, it can't, because it's a pharmacy, and it's like, we sell like apparel is our #1 department, which blows my mind. But it's a captive audience, much like here we are waiting for your stuff to be wrapped. You're still shopping. But what is your magic number and a price point?
I think $40 to $50. I mean, my philosophy is the $40 gift that looks like it was $100. I
love that.
That's what I'm always thinking, like, that fits that category. But then I find that for our customer, if she's doing a self-purchase or the significant others buying it, they don't mind spending nearly $200 for a pair of pajamas.
That's me.
If you just focus on that $40 or $50 price point for a real true gift store, it gets kind of boring. Like, you have to mix some high-low.
Yeah.
Like, we have Kickerland that we sell all day long, but we also have $200 pajamas. So it's a little mix of everything.
Yeah. We have to talk about this section because I was dying. One, again, the color and the color flow, but I do a lot of astrology, and the designs on these are so good. I mean, fashion was the same thing when I was at Magic. Fashion very much has this retro kind of 70 vibe and kind of Marimekko-ish, and that's very much what this reminds me of. And I've never seen this line, so tell us, because you wanted to talk about this.
So this is a
Give
line
up the
that I
secrets.
am having so much fun with. In fact, I've been working every night this week on doing product with them. It's called Denny. It's DENY Designs. And they will do production in small batches. So you can do your own. They have a library of thousands of images with hundreds of artists. And you go through and you pick your images first. It's a bit daunting, actually.
I was going to say, my ADD's already kicked in.
So, but with a glass of wine and a clear mind, you can go through. And the way I did it was I just picked the images that I loved. And then I went back with my rep and said, these are the images I like, and these are the kinds of products that I want. And then she kind of input it for me and sent it back to me. So we're going to be doing shower curtains and mugs and notebooks, and the artwork is incredible. Like, it's everything from, one of my favorites is this little, because mushrooms are so hot right now, it's these mushrooms, but the stem is a torso and a little butt. So it's just like, it's so cute. So we're doing those on trays, and we might even do like a doormat with it.
Oh my God.
And you're buying these in small quantities, so you can really do your own custom thing.
I just, one thing I have to say, because I'm all about like that, there's a common thread when I merchandise. There's usually a common thread that pulls you through. And for this, I love the common thread of gold, how you've kind of got that popping through this. That's the kind of stuff that I just love. And it's so well done. And, even like the little color groupings of this is like merchandising, like I said, it takes a lot to gobsmack me. And I told your merchandiser this yesterday, that it's like, it's really good. And it's so fun to go into the space and see like good merchandising and like the things that I love, like the thread of something that pulls you through the display.
And I think that, Cindy does a beautiful job with it. I'm always telling her, like, we have to really show that we truly love this.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to be able to tell the customer this. They have to visually see it. One of my favorite things I found at market were these little trophies.
Okay,
which I think are just
I
so
love anything with an F-bomb on it, and like, fuck all y'all, and it's like, woo! Like, that's so, what is this?
But I think like stuff like this, an old like bowling sort of trophy where it's like make your own luck, which that's kind of like where we are. We're kind of doing this sort of optimistic, sweet, blaze your own trowel. I think that has a nice freshness.
So the F-bomb thing you've kind of stepped away from.
We still have it around.
But you don't have like a big section of it.
It's not as much as what we used to have.
We all know what happened with me and my F-bombs. And the jewelry you've got, again, like what I love is that you can shop it. It's not too crowded. You have the little island. So I'm assuming this changes out like as all of your new receipts and,
Yes. No, Julie is our buyer for the jewelry, and she micromanages it right down to every SKU, and is constantly trying new things. And it's one of our most profitable areas in the store.
I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed our time here. It's like, I knew when I talked to you over the phone or over our interview, it was like one of those things where it's like kismet. It's like someone that speaks your same language, like somebody that has the same sense of humor, someone that does the same stupid things that I do.
Exactly, right.
I adore you, and I'm so excited that you're doing this with us, and I'm so excited to bring you and this beautiful store to the airways.
Well, thank you. And I want to tell you that I was thinking this morning, with what you're doing, and I don't know what your plans are with what you're doing and how it's going to grow, but I think it's really important for the industry. And what I was thinking about was when I was younger and just starting the dream of wanting a store, or when I finally leased the first spot and bit the bullet and decided to do it, we really didn't have any resources, and there wasn't anyone. It's not like you can approach another store, even though I did. But the information was very secret. So what you're doing is really amazing for the industry. And I think the next generation of shopkeepers, are going to look to these podcasts and these vlogs, and just the smart ones are just going to soak up that.
I hope so. Thank you, because I feel like if you're going to spend this much time in retail, and I said this the other day, is like that I don't think there should be secrets. I think that as an industry, if we can all teach each other stuff, I think that's only going to make us as an industry stronger. And it's like, it's good to have competition. Like that's a good thing. And by having everyone like new resources and like, you know, this is how we do things, or that's how this person found out how to do whatever. I think it just makes everyone stronger. And it's
Absolutely.
like, honestly, like, it's like for our industry, it's like the small brick and mortars need to stay in this industry and not go, you know, the Amazon way. And that, by keeping secrets, that was what will happen, is that the little stores will slowly go away. And it's like, keeping those secrets is not going to do anything for our industry.
Right.
So.
Well, we actually have a mutual friend who messaged me over the weekend, and she said, she's like, you know, our friendship makes owning a store less lonely. And when I really thought about what Barbara said to me, I was like, first of all, it's a huge compliment, and it was like really beautiful. But it's true, it can be lonely. And so things like what you're doing, where you're bringing people together, it's like I really enjoy it, and I learned so much.
Thank you. Oh, I love you. I don't want to leave this conversation without talking about Andy. Tell me, we lost somebody in the industry. I did not personally know him, but I know the impact that he had on San Francisco, Oakland area. Talk a little bit about him, because this episode will be dedicated to Andy.
Thank you, Michelle.
I just got chills.
I do. I have chills too. Andy was, you know, the next generation. He was young. He was only 35 years old, and he was hit actually on the street of my other store by a hit and run, and it was fatal. And so last week I messaged you. It's like, you know, the industry up here is like really hurting. Like all of the stores were reaching out to each other because we all really loved him, and he was this quirky, fun, loving, sweet man. So it's a huge loss, and I think knowing Andy, and knowing his personality, he'll love that we're dedicating this to him. And, you know, there was a thought where it was like, you know, is it really appropriate for me to even do this, you know, tour or interview? And you offered to, like, we can postpone it. And, like, all of our reps and everything were like, no, Nathan, go for it, because Andy would want you to, and he would love this, and just do it fabulously, because that was Andy.
This is for you, Andy.
Rest in peace, my friend.